Artists in the Fediverse.
Hey Cami, sorry it took me so long to send you a message back. I've been thinking so much about what you said, and I just really wanted to reply properly and not just to reply instantly. Especially the Black Lives Matter movement getting such a strong force this time. I think it more than before pointed out what it means to have privilege, to live one's life without being reminded, actually, that you have a body, to just be able to live your life like you want to. So I definitely know what you, or at least it resonates with me a lot. But at the same time, I don't think it's being childlike to be able to see the beauty in things and to enjoy simple things, or to enjoy where you are or do your things, because I think that's actually really important, and I think that's what we need to fight for other people or for all people. So hopefully there's a way to do both, no? Like to both be aware and to kind of understand and to do things actively, like to support in the ways that we can. I think it's time to be like we were when we were kids, to say like, hey, that's not fair, don't say that, or to question things a bit more, and not just to think like, oh, what an idiot, and then move on with your day. It's passive to be silent, but it's not passive to give space. So finding ways to do that is also just what we need to think about. There's a lot to learn, and I think that's good. But I definitely know the feeling you're saying about like losing this kind of being like a child in the world and feeling the possibilities rather than feeling like responsibilities. And I think that's something that we struggle with their entire adult lives, basically, to finding back to just enjoying whatever is in the moment, while at the same time being responsible and changing things that aren't working, or speaking up to injustice. But I do believe that it's possible to do both, or to have both a lightness and today I did this type of meditation that I think you would really, really enjoy. It's called metta, and it's basically just a practice where you sit in a meditation position, and then you think of a person that you care about, a friend or a family member or someone you admire, and bring them to mind, and you start just wishing them well, like saying in your mind words like I wish for you to be happy, I wish for you to be free of pain. Just simple things like that, but like, yeah, wishing a person well. And it's quite, I think subconsciously we do this all the time, like
Now you can hear me. Yes. Now there is. What? Testing. Okay. Oh, that's what it is. I see now. That was the monitor that's going over there that's doing that. Gotcha. Gotcha. I see what's going on here. All right. I need to flip me. Hmm. How? On that. Oh, transform. Oh, you can't transform. Oh, it's locked. There we go. I'm behind chat. Chat, you're important. Okay. We're gonna watch. We're gonna watch this FOSDEM. Once I find it, and then plumb in the. One minute? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, except I'm covering up. Hannah's down there in the ND, so I feel like I'm still in the way. Kind of see them behind chat. I move chat, probably. Or you can sit on my head. Shh. There we go. Look like I'm not floating in freeze. Oh, my lips are changing. That would be fine there. Gogglebox for nerds? Well, I mean, yes. I don't know what Gogglebox is, but definitely for nerds. My lips are still gray. I don't know if that helped much at all. Come here. That's a chroma key issue. Hmm. That do anything? There we go. I have somewhat of a color now. All right. Good enough.
Community at Mastodon. As Evan said, my name is Hannah Aubrey. I've recently joined Mastodon as the community director, and you probably recognize this familiar face, Andy Piper, our head of communications. Together we are community and communications.
Connect. Now you can hear me. Oh my God. I'm not a fan of this. All right. There's that. I blame Mina went. You made me do this. The sources go away when I pause videos, so I have to reset them back up each time. All right.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having us here today. We are super excited to tell you what is new and what is coming in terms of community at Mastodon. As Evan said, my name is Hannah Aubrey. I've recently joined
There we go.
as the community director, and you probably recognize this familiar face, Andy Piper, our head of communications.
Woohoo!
Together we are community and communications, aka
Comms Unity.
Comms Unity. I love that.
So, a quick overview of what we are going to talk about today. Full warning, this is not a technical talk, this is an organizational talk. If you have, thank you. If you have questions about anything we talk about today, please come find us at our stand, FO4, or find us online.
I might be biased, but those two were lovely people.
Thanks, Hannah. So we're going to divide this up between us. So I'll cover the vision piece at the beginning here, and then I'll pass over to Hannah to talk a little bit about some other topics. So if you followed our story, Mastodon is going to turn 10 later this year as a
Wow.
project, which is very exciting. We'll have more.
I didn't realize it was that old.
But we've been building a team, right? So Eugene took a really bold step of saying this project is for everyone, and he didn't want to be kind of in charge, so he's taking a sideways step into looking after product.
Oh, sorry.
We've got this new leadership team, and as part of this whole process of bringing together a group of people to build Mastodon, we thought it was about time that we actually told you all what Mastodon stands for, because a lot of people have versions of this, and we've heard a few people say, well, what is Mastodon's vision? We're going to tell you about that. The other thing I want to tell you is that we are also in the process of finalizing our transition to a new non-profit here in Belgium. And as part of that, there will be a document that we are close to finishing, we haven't quite finished yet, which will cover the governance process and bylaws for the community project that is Mastodon. So we'll begin recruiting committees to that really soon. Hannah's a great person to come talk to over the weekend if you'd like to get involved with that. But this is really kind of the teaser for what Mastodon's all about. It's been around for a while, so you probably know what it is, right?
10 years. I can't believe it's been 10 years already.
As we brought this group of people
It's crazy.
together, what is it, right? How do we describe ourselves to ourselves, and how does that help us decide where we're going, and how does that help us communicate, which is important to me as communication person, to you all what we're doing and why we're doing it. And the other important thing to do, and I'm spending a long time on this slide, but this is important, the reason that we're moving a bit slowly is that we've seen the impact that social media, social networks can have in the world, and it's not always good, but it can be good, and we take this really seriously. So that is why you'll find us move a little more slowly than you may like sometimes around some of the things that we build. We are moving slowly because we do not take this work lightly. So this is Mastodon's vision. It's a human-centered social web that serves a common good. And it's human-centered because we put people first.
Yes.
That applies
Like that?
when we're making decisions, when we're building processes for our software, when we're designing the software, when we're adding features like quote posts, we're thinking about how that affects how humans interact. We want a network that prioritizes socializing and over slop, people over profits, and authenticity over bluster. And we're serving the common good because we want technology and community that helps make the world and ourselves better. So beyond that vision, that grand vision, that really meaningful vision, our mission is then to build Mastodon to connect the world through thriving online communities. We connect the world by building technology and programs that bring people together, and we want those communities to thrive. We want them to be healthy, we want them to be safe, we want them to be exciting and vibrant, and also to spark a sense of belonging and fun. So, having said that, this vision and mission, how does that translate then into what Mastodon stands for? What are our values? And then we think about how those values shape our decision-making processes. So these are our values. We put people first. We are building an ethical, human-centered social web where authentic connections between humans matter more than metrics. We prioritize genuine human interactions.
Yes.
We act with integrity. We champion individual agency. And we make decisions that benefit people and not profits. As Hannah said, this is not a highly technical talk, but I think this is really important to communicate with you. We build bridges. We want to empower communities to connect but maintain their autonomy. We want to enable people to make the choices about who they connect with and how they connect with them. We are, of course, building on open protocols.
I love how Andy is so very specific in everything he says.
In the Fediverse to interact on their own terms. And we want to enable that to foster understanding between cultures and perspectives. We're transparent and trustworthy. We build in the open. I've told you that we are working on governance processes for the organization as it evolves. We believe in open dialogue. I hope if you follow our project and if you use our software, that you've seen this over the course of the last couple of years where choices have been made, occasionally something hasn't been thought through as well as we could have done it, and we've said, I'm sorry, we've owned that, we've changed that. We believe in open dialogue, our code is open source, our policies are public, and our decision-making welcomes community input. We've done this with our terms of service for our main Mastodon social instance. When we make those mistakes, we acknowledge them, and we make things right. We're resilient and self-reliant, and this is more important, of course, in the world right now than ever before. We operate free from centralized control and corporate influence. We want to ensure that the platform evolves according to community needs. That doesn't mean every single feature that the community requests, incidentally, but we listen to community input. We want to incorporate that. We're community funded, community driven in development, and we want to show that social media can flourish without compromising the values we're talking about here. And finally, and really importantly, we are part of a movement. Mastodon is not the Fediverse. I say this every single time I'm on stage talking about the project. We are part of a movement. We are part of a diverse ecosystem that works towards a better internet that we believe in, that brings me to FOSDEM on a regular basis, not just for Mastodon, because the free software movement and open source are things that matter to me personally.
Yes.
our strength comes through that collaboration, through the collaboration that we see in this same movement, this same environment, through sharing our knowledge and mutual support across that decentralized web movement. And one more thing I'm going to talk about before handing back to Hannah is a greater commitment to free software. We are planning to move as much of our digital footprint to wholly owned and operated digital infrastructure as we can. It's a long-term project. We can't do this overnight. We can't just switch every system we use to something that is free and open source and hosted by us ourselves tomorrow. And we are taking our time over this because we need to balance achieving our mission, supporting the millions of people that do use Mastodon every day, the hundreds and thousands of instances that exist around the world today, keeping them stable, enabling them to get new features, but also move our project forward. So we're going to move as much of our operations as we can without sacrificing our team's ability to get things done. And the first thing that we have done is our community chat platforms. Over
Zulip.
the holiday period that's just gone, the Christmas period, we moved our internal work collaboration. We'd been using Discord for a long time. Not great for what we needed to do as a team, and we've now moved over to Zulip, which we have been really enjoying. It's great.
Hey, Eyeless.
We also use Discord for a couple of other chat channels, one of those being our Patreon community. We will be moving those over to Zulip as well over the next few months.
Has anyone ever heard of
One
Zulip?
step, and this is one example of the changes we're going to be making in this space. We're not going to do them all overnight, but I'm excited to say that we are deepening that commitment.
I've heard the name. I've not
And with that, I shall hand you back to Hannah to talk about the really hard stuff.
used it. How is it? What is mix with
All right,
three
my
X's?
friends,
I mean,
well,
it seems like an adult
Let's talk about
site.
the elephant in the room. Or
Ah.
if you prefer, the pachyderm in the space. After the Twitter sale in late 2022, we made a choice to send new signups directly to Mastodon Social during the onboarding process. We made that decision
Oh,
in
okay.
return for the new user experience, simply to reduce the cognitive load of a new paradigm in social networking, and the choices that come with that.
Gets people's
We
attention.
wanted new users to land on a server that we were sure would remain operational, not only under that immediate sign-up load, but also into the future. We haven't revisited that choice for a number of reasons, one of them being that we're a small team and we've been focused on building a new organization, establishing a new entity, and releasing new features. Another reason we haven't made a switch yet is because the size of Mastodon Social is a benefit to us. It enables us to test new features,
Oh,
capabilities.
Enowen, really? There was someone that requested an account on Tube Free a while ago, and I asked them for proof of their videos, and it was a Bollywood video, and I was like, that's not yours, man. No. Yeah, I didn't know that. This talk is FOSDEM talk. Oh, you can't see that good. There's the FOSDEM talk with Hannah Aubrey, who is the director of community for Mastodon now, who I just spoke to. 2 days ago? Yeah. And Andy Piper, who is the head of communications for Mastodon. You're right, I don't. Good, Logo. How you doing, sir? I don't think I messed up my audio. What? Oh. Ah. All right.
That as one of the largest and most visible projects in the Fediverse and the social web, we have a responsibility to support and to promote the entire network. We know the delay has been frustrating. We're really sorry about that, and we're committed.
Yeah, if I pause it, it closes the sync. It closes the audio sync, and then I have to remap it again. If anyone knows how to fix that, prevent it, let me know, please.
We're going to be beginning a new experiment in onboarding, and that is default server recommendations. And so what this means is this new method is a way to assign a server that will prioritize recommending the closest geographic.
Oh, yes, of course, of course, of course. A horse is a horse, of course, of course. But no one could talk to a horse, of course, unless, of course, the horse is the famous Mr. Red. All right. Yep, disappeared. Right, so what I need to do this, that, right? And then, aha! Except I can't hear myself now.
Data surfaced by the App Store. So this experiment will start on our iOS and Android.
Oh, perfect timing.
Because, of course, we are able to get that data from the App Store. In order to do this on the web, we would need to implement tracking. We want to go slowly with
Thank you, Enoan. I know it sounds silly that I say that, but
this experiment will be designed to ensure that server admins remain in control.
my problem is that I can't hear myself. So if I have my mic go out as well, does it double up the audio is what I'm concerned with. Right now it's coming through desktop audio and the desktop mic. Oh, is that the rule, Enoan? I had no idea. Sounds fine. Okay. Not going to worry about that.
Meaning they will have the power to opt in and opt out as needed or reduce the percentage of signups flowing.
And I know that, Enoan, that seems easy to you, and I thank you for letting me know.
Starting now,
my brain just...
We will begin recruiting a group of general purpose servers to participate in this experiment. We have a few basic eligibility requirements detailed on this slide. As the exact design of the experiment finalizes, we may have a few more, but this is the set to start. And we will be sort of hand-selecting servers to participate in this experiment. But
I love this. I absolutely love this. Mastodon is using their position to not enhance their position, but to help you find a community that is right for you, that is best for the entire network. I love that. Oh, best of luck, Hylas.
We may open this up later on, and this is just a first step in looking at how we can evolve onboarding to support the entire network.
That's amazing change.
So if you're interested in participating, there's a QR code you can scan. There's a form that this QR code points to with some really basic information. Sorry in advance, it's on Google Workspace, but we're going to get a free and open source form builder spun up soon. So while you're scanning that, the default server recommendations experiment, again, is just a first step in reimagining how Mastodon onboarding and server direct discovery works overall. Our team's intent is to work with the community in a process of co-creation to build new onboarding pathways that support the entire network, and we are so excited to work with you all on this. Oops. We also have an apology to make, which is that we have not kept up with submissions to our server directory, and we are sorry about that. As you have just heard, our mission for Mastodon is to connect the world through thriving online communities, not one community, but many communities. So it is really important to us that there are many Mastodon servers all around the world that are vibrant, that are thriving, that make the system truly resistant, resilient, decentralized, and global. So we are going to change the way this process works. We are going to make it easier to manage for you and for us all. Our intent is to move the server directory backend to a pull request-based system so that admins can submit, update, or remove entries themselves. Another change we want to make to the server directory, and this will become important in a later phase of our onboarding experimentation, but we want to add more ways to classify servers based on demographics, interests, any number of classifications. This can help us make discovery easier, and we also want to empower the community to help us manage the approvals process so we can keep up with the load. So thank you for your patience, and again, we are so sorry we fell behind on this work. Right now, we have perhaps one of the best opportunities, at least the best in a few years, to grow the open social web. We at Mastodon deeply believe in the ideals of the social web of the Fediverse. Because of that, we want to see more people using this technology. We hope you feel the same, and if you do, we've prepared 3 things you can do today to help us grow the movement. Help a friend or family get signed up. But don't just send them the link to the website, don't just send them the app. Sit down with them and help them fill their timeline. Our research shows that people with an active timeline are more likely to stick around. So help your friend and family find accounts to follow, help them follow a few hashtags, and help them craft an introduction. And also, stay tuned for our upcoming collections feature, which should help people find more interesting accounts to follow.
Yes.
Another thing you can do is petition your local government to join the Fediverse. Start by identifying the most tech-forward department in your local government, maybe a communications office or a digital office. Pick one specific contact who seems most likely to be interested in innovative communications platforms. Prepare a short to-the-point pitch that gets straight to it. By joining Mastodon, you can communicate directly with residents without paying for expensive social media advertising. You all know the talking points. Make sure to connect the platform to that organization's, that government's specific goals. If it's a city trying to increase community engagement, emphasize how Mastodon creates more meaningful local conversations. And make sure to use multiple approaches. Don't just send one email, send a few. Follow up with a phone call, request a meeting. Make a relationship. The key is persistence and showing how Mastodon solves real communication challenges. And finally, hit the streets.
Well, what kind of slides do you like,
Not
Blender?
condoning vandalism. But we do know there are a lot of really talented artists in the Fediverse. And if some of those talented artists were to create some JPEGs or PDFs for stickers or flyers promoting Mastodon or their local instance, and if you saw those JPEGs or PDFs, and if you wanted to print them out and stick them somewhere where lots of people would find them, you should not do that. You can also try a more targeted approach. If you're part of a local club or a community, talk to your group or community's leader and ask them, what would it take to get you to move? And feel free to reach out to us if you need help. And also make sure to share what works so we can all learn and help the Fediverse grow. Any questions?
Right. Just before we take a couple of questions, we dropped a couple of slides that we had in this deck that talk about specific technical features that are coming in the next 12 months. Our booth is on F04 above by the food vans around the corner there. Come by. There's some slides on our carousel there. You can have a look and see what's coming. Talk to the folks on the stand. Happy to take a question or so before we get pulled off stage. Also,
So Blender, I'm not understanding. Are you saying you would rather have a slide with just a wall of text? Because the problem with those, I don't know if that's what you're saying, using images enter very little text. Presentations, the slide is just to help summarize what the speaker's saying. If you have like all of the points in the slide, yes, people later can just read it and know exactly what it was, but it's about paying attention to the speaker.
Handy Fediverse stickers on the table over here, since we were talking about that.
All right, hands up for questions. We're going to go here and then move over there.
That's Evan. That was Evan. Evan is working the crowd and handing the mic around.
Thank you for the talk. You mentioned that
Wow.
you had Discord and planning to move from that one, and also Google Cloud. What are the other closed software, non-open source, that you still have and are like planning to move ahead?
I think one of the next one we want to address is we use Help Scout for managing our help requests. There's a great version of it, Free Scout, and that's probably our next after moving off Discord.
Oh, gotcha, Blender. Yeah, that's
Great. Let's do a couple of these. Can I get through?
a hot take.
Okay. Thank you for putting also, the topic of growing the users of Mastodon at the focus.
Inuit, yeah, link it. Can you link it to me?
of us, which is fair.
I do have to hop on a
To
meeting
understand a little better
in a couple of minutes, but I'm not ending the
your
stream.
perspective, the biggest motivators of individuals to join Mastodon/the Fediverse. There was once a thread I read on our local instance, Bon.social.
Yeah,
And honestly,
exactly, Blender. Yeah, you're a
for me,
filmmaker.
it's very
It adds
hard
up.
to synthesize that one to find the right
Yeah.
catchphrases or whatever.
Absolutely. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. There's an extrinsic motivation, which is what's going on with big tech, big US tech right now. And so that's a sort of perhaps fear and anger and a desire to protect one's privacy, to get away from those closed networks.
We try to warn about.
But I think even more powerful, because extrinsic motivators are typically very powerful in the short term and decrease in effectiveness over the long term. The most
if I can find
important
it.
thing we all need to be focusing on, and certainly Mastodon needs to do a lot of, contribute to this as well, is being with the people and things they love. That is the intrinsic motivation, social connection, fun, belonging. Those are the most powerful motivators, the longest term motivators, the ones that keep people on the network. And so just having a fun and cool place for people to hang out.
Howdy. Hey, Preston Duster from Pachyderm here. So super excited about server recommendations. The requirement to have open signups seems challenging given.
Inuit, is it Daniel Stenberg? Open source security in spite of AI? Is this? Okay, I found it.
That the spam tool, the tools to fight spam just aren't there. So like that's a non-starter. How are y'all thinking about evolving that in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. We do have some upcoming features over the next 2 years that are going to help with that. Of course, in the short term, we don't have something built in right now, and so it is sort of a disclaimer for us to say, if you want to participate in this experiment, be ready for the spam. And of course, we'll be here to help, share knowledge, etc.
Good call. All right.
If you want to.
I'm going to be right back. I have to go hop on a meeting and I'm going to restart this. We're going to keep going, but I have to be on a work meeting as well. Oh, now you can hear me. Not anymore.
Come talk to us a little bit more about what we can do, please do.
Hi, my name is Everton. So my first question is, how can we do the lobbying that like competitors like Blue Sky, they are doing here in Europe? I also the last days in this talk with Mastodon Philip and Sebastian from Eurosky, and I could see how people with this money from venture capital are coming to Brussels every week to do the lobbying for their Blue Sky AT protocol. This is my first question. And the second point is to contact our representatives, politicians. I create a tool called livex.eu that facilitates people to write to politicians. So the last days I'm receiving emails from politicians because people are contacting them. And I'm glad people from Austria, Netherlands, and Sweden add the politicians who are still on X. So it's if anyone else wants to join and add the data from your country, please help. And someone from Canada just developed a tool to invite politicians from...
What happened to Ozone is I'm on a work call as well.
To the Fediverse using Mastodon. So it's just a way to reach out people, and we don't have as many resources as people with money. So how can we, more this grassroots movement, non-profit, compete with these guys with money?
Get loud.
Yeah, I think probably, Evan, we need to switch over. And I'll answer the question, but you may probably want to, the next speaker probably wants to come and get ready. Yeah, great question. Thank you. You're right. We have limited resources financially. There was somebody who posted in Reddit a couple of weeks ago saying Mastodon should have billboards all over Europe talking about how great it is. Lovely. Please give us enough money to do that. We are restricted in what we can do, and we do our best. I would say on the EU, they have an instance. We happen to host that instance. We have a hosting offering for companies, organizations that want to easily get started. We know there are other hosting organizations. We are very happy to work with them and encourage them as well to help organizations onto the Fediverse. I've been in Brussels myself, I think 4 times in the last 12 months, and that's more than I've ever been in my life. But I do not have the resources, as you say, probably not the charisma either, who knows, of these other folks that are coming. So you're completely right to call that out. How can we compete? And as Hannah says, we need to be persistent. We need to be loud. We need to really make our voices heard, make people understand that just switching to something that is cut and paste from somewhere else in the world with the same business model is not changing the world. It is still causing people to put their lives into places where they will be tracked and monetized and their friends' networks will be sold. And that is not what we stand for, as I hope we showed you this morning. That is not what we believe in. And we ask humbly for your help in sharing that message with everyone else. So we really appreciate. Thank you for the LeaveX tool you built. We appreciate that. And we appreciate all of you who are helping in this effort.
Thank you.
Oh. Yeah, sorry about that. That's okay.
Okay, so just a quick one. So back in the early startup days, there was a whole thing where people would go into coffee shops and they would literally build a website for the coffee shop and then show it to the owner and say, look, I built this for you. You can just use it. I will literally pass it over to you. Is there an equivalent that could be done with Mastodon?
Yes, let's talk.
Okay. That was easy.
Did it. Good job.
All right. Let me see if I can find Curlman. Just had it somewhere.
Hi. Now I intend to start. The time is up. I have a little talk to do. It's this, and then we can go home. You look a little tired. It feels like I've talked to almost all of you already this FOSDEM, but so if it's a repetition, I apologize. But this is me. I am Daniel. I am the president of the European Open Source Academy. I actually have a new medal in my bag. Yeah, so that Mastodon, that's my site. So I work on a tool. Some of you have seen it. It's a little thing. It's rather new. Anyway, I'll get back to that little thing. But anyway, that project, of course, curl, and most of you know all of this already. I started this a long time ago. I've been working on it a lot. So it has taught me, and most of you, and many of you at least, have followed my struggles with this. So AI nowadays it's really a tool that augments us humans, right, in many cases. And humans can go either way, right? You can go in to the left or to the right, up or down, and it certainly helps, AI certainly helps us to go either way, the bad way or the good way. You decide which way, right? So, yeah, that's the way it works. So we can seriously get a lot of AI slop because people don't even try to find out if it's true or not. You just pass it on, no breaks at all. Or you can use the AI to find some awesome tools we never could find before. You can use AI bug reports generated with an AI tool to actually help projects because you can find things you never could before. Or you can use those tools to just overload a project because you can do that now, even if they legitimate. If you happen to be a really big tech company and that's a little small open source project, yeah, that's overloading. You know who I talk about. And of course, you can use all these new powerful tools. I mean, and then I don't mean, I'll get back into some details. You can use all of these new tools to find fun flaws never found before, and you can use them in really malicious ways and nefarious and attack and find new flaws and be a bad person. Or you can use the AI tools to review your code and make sure your code actually gets a lot better before you merge your PRs. there are a lot of ways to, improve the world with AI. Or you can just, overload every open source site in the world with your AI scraper bots. So we can certainly get a lot of bad crap. We can get good crap. But anyway, all right. And then we have this, guys. You can always, you can use AI in the analyzer and then dismiss valid bug reports, which has also happened a few times already, right? So there's a lot of AI, a lot of bad AI, some good AI. So yeah, but everything has AI. And one advantage with doing a talk about AI is so much easier to pronounce than HTTP3 in the talks, right? So I've been here before. I've selected better words this time. So I'm going to say AI like a bazillion times this talk. So, but I just wanted to say, AI is a sensitive subject to many people, and AI is a questionable technology. And just by using the word AI, I know I upset sort of half the audience by, no, it's not AI every time. It is an LLM, and it could be machine learning. And in my talk, I don't care. I'm using sort of the marketing language. It's all AI. And usually when people throw something at me, they say they use AI to do it, or they didn't say AI, but I don't know which technology, right? I don't know if it was an LLM or machine learning. They say AI, I use the phrase AI. So they use a lot of energy. We have the license debate, right? They freeload on a lot of open source. They spider the web to the death, right? We are overloaded. I'll talk more about that. They take all the money right now because now no one can do anything that is not AI because no one will pay you anything at all. And yes, try to buy a computer with memory now. And no one is paying anything for this, right? How is that possible? It's free forever. No. And again, AI is a vague term. Sure, there are a lot of different technologies underneath, but I'm going to talk about the term as AI anyway because, yeah, that's me.
Oh, go back. Outside a couple of the different ones there, that's a perfect example of the bubble that they have created to chase the next big thing. They're missing our thing, which I'm fine with.
AI is a vague term. Sure, there are a lot of different technologies underneath, but I'm going to talk about the term as AI anyway because, yeah, that's me. Okay, so, and everyone who thinks this is good technology will tell us all, but sure, it'll be better, and maybe it will, right? But yeah, I'm old, and I'm allowed to complain. And by the way, this is my talk number 16 at FOSDEM. Okay, so back to curl. I started it a long time ago. We're celebrating 30 years in November. Thank you.
That's crazy.
So yeah, that means we went from 100 lines to 180,000 lines in just 30 years. Imagine on 60. And yeah, we're 1,400 authors. I work on it full time. 25 authors per month. 3,500 people have a name in the thanks file. Yeah, an ordinary open source project. We run in a few things. This screen is really horrible. It doesn't show, but you get the point, yes. We estimate somewhere around 20, 30 billion installations, basically everywhere. It makes, at least sort of, in our project, we take then security seriously, right? It could possibly make a bad impact if we have a terrible security thing somewhere. And at the same time, we have AI, right? So finally, we can make it come true. One of my favorite old quotes. Well, I don't know why, but people like to think about curl as something that is easy to do. So anyway, this is my hobby.
Curl is just the hobby of some guy that has no business providing a service to 1 billion people.
And just going back then,
I think he would agree too.
Curl runs in that, and I mean, curl is not unique in that everything runs on open source, right? The entire world actually runs on open source.
Yep.
It has been mentioned many times at FOSDEM, and we all know that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the world has turned into this. Everything runs something. Most of it is now open source, and you put something on top of it, which isn't. And you know, I couldn't talk about this with XKCD. So yeah, this is just how the world works. And when everything runs your code, and I'm sure that I'm sharing this with a lot of you, but when you have a lot of users, you're a little bit sensitive to that security problem. Someone mails you, tells that something really bad can happen if this condition is true. And so it tends to take the top priority, right?
Yeah. I mean, 30 years.
Problems, number one. So at the same time, maintaining open source, as we all know, right? It's where the average or the median number of maintainers in a regular open source project is 1, right? We're all
That's nuts.
solo maintainers of at least one project, probably 7 or 13 in this crowd. Yes, most of them, or many, are a spare time project.
I hope not.
Thing we do at the side, or partially paid or whatever. Underfunded is sort of the middle name of every open source project. We have a lot of outstanding tasks, always, because what's not a to-do list, right? Always a lot of things we should do if we have the time and inspiration, or someone submits a PR or something. And a lot of us struggle with a burnout. What do we do with that constant to-do list? Lots of things to do. People submit issues, whine, yeah, they're a normal open source project. And then AI. Yeah, so AI can potentially then help us. Yes. So we add AI to everything. Yes. Okay. It's super easy to ask your LLM to find a problem. And I imagine, I haven't tried this really myself, but I imagine that some projects are easier to find problems in than others. I mean, find problems. But possibly if the machines have trained a lot on your code, maybe they find more or less. I don't know. And there's really, since we're not paying for this, there's really no cost to try this.
Oh, you know what? That explains a lot.
It'll answer something for you. Ask it to provide a really long answer, and it'll do that. Ask it to make it sound really horrible, and it'll do that. And then you send that report away. But, you know, can it actually find problems?
Yeah.
Who knows? In a lot of cases, it seems to be that this is a marketing machine that has really sold this myth to a large part of the world, and to a lot of engineers, right? Because it seems that a lot of people genuinely think that if you ask ChatGPT for a security problem, it will tell you one, and we better report it.
Yep.
So, yeah, it works like that. Before, in the old days, you know, someone actually invested a lot of time, effort. It took hours to dig up some details about the security report. It was a built-in friction here. There was a break. Someone had to do something, a lot. It was a contract, right? You spend a lot of time, you report it. We spend time on assessing it in our end. But now, there's no effort at all in doing this.
Yep.
The floodgates are open. Send it over. And, of course, it doesn't work. And for some reason, we're more targeted by this development than a lot of others. But based on the fact that this is so easy to do, but anything in the world that is sort of, we have removed the part where there is sort of, you have to invest some work to make it happen. Everything that is like this in the world is broken now when you can get the AI to do it.
Yeah.
Even though the AI can't do it. But
well, and again, I was literally telling someone this the other day, like it's the sycophant of all sycophants. It will tell you, yes, you're right about everything. If you tell it to find a hole, it will find a hole. Now, whether that hole exists or not, if you don't have the expertise to actually put in the work to find it, you have no idea. And you're not only useless. You're less than useless. You are wasting other people's time. I understand someone might want to help. They think they're helping, but this is not the way to do it unless you use AI as a fuzzer that points you to something that you can then verify and back up and then open the bug. That makes sense.
Apparently people don't really check that. So how does this appear? People then constantly ask me, how do you know it's an AI? And yeah, how do you know it's an AI?
It's too polite. Yep.
No human ever started like, I apologize, but I found a problem.
I actually have.
No
but.
way. I mean, we all know that, right? We've been working with open source for a long time. People tend to be a little bit more on the other side, right?
I love Daniel. This is great.
That I made this bug. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, anyway. Good call.
Perfect English. And
yeah.
And for sure, I mean, I'm not a native English speaker. I do lots of mistakes, and sure, I can use spelling checks and everything, but normal humans actually have quite a lot of errors. And I mean, that's what makes us human. That's fine, but the machines never do that. And I don't know why, but they like this mixed case. So that's the, you know, if the submission starts title, and then they spell out the bug, all mixed case, you know. That's weird. That's not a human writing that. And of course, I mean, that's a constant thing, M dashes. No. And when I say M dashes, then 3 people in the audience will tell me that they always use M dashes and they're not bots. But, you know, there's the combination here. It never works like this. And for some reason, I don't know. Weird, but
I use emojis all the time. Just not,
source code, right? But
not only the happy
really,
one.
emojis in every source code example. I must be really old. I think so. I don't ever use that. But
Psychopaths.
do that. And actually, one of the problems, and I don't really know why. I guess they ask for this, but the reports tend to get really, really, really long.
Yep.
Which is maybe fine. I mean, back in the day, we tried to get serious real bug reporters. Can you please tell me a little bit more? Right? It doesn't work. No, but tell me more. Right?
I've been there in support.
Now we're in the other camp. Tell me less, sort of, please. So one of the things I've started recently is like, there's a long report. I don't read it because it's too long. This is probably AI. I ask a follow-up question, and then I ask it sort of, okay, can you please explain this in 10 lines or less? Because if I don't, I will get another 200 lines in a follow-up report, right? You're absolutely right. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And yes, every paragraph needs 3 bullet points in a list.
I am so glad I have not had to put up with the crap these poor guys do.
12 paragraphs with 3 bullet points in each. I mean, that's super crazy. Yeah. And then, as I said, if you don't qualify anything, you get a long report and you ask a follow-up question, what happens? You're absolutely right. I'm sorry. My mistake. I misunderstood. And blah, 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 blah. And that's how it works. And the funny thing is then that it easily loses track and goes in some other direction than it started. I mean, humans also do that, but yeah. So we end up with a proxy, me and a bot chatting, sort of downhill. Yeah, that never ends well. So, okay. Let me give you one of my favorite examples. It's going old now, I think May 2025, so yeah, a little over soon, a year ago. I mean, okay, so this, curl is slightly technical project. You know, we speak Internet things.
Slightly technical project.
Where HTTP3 is a complicated protocol. All of these complicated things. Okay, HTTP3 stream dependency cycle exploit. And you know, they're always critical. Critical. The world is burning. Everyone is going to die. So, stream dependency cycle exploit. You know, novel exploit. Blah blah blah. That sounds serious, right? 0x00 overview. I don't know what that is, but okay. tested on version 8.13. I think that was the current one at the time, maybe. Yeah, there's a proof of concept, required environment setup, attack execution. You just need to apply, you need to apply this little patch on this is a existing HTTP3 server written in Python, right? So this looks legitimate. You just need to apply this little patch to reproduce the bug. Perfect, right? Cool. This guy has done something. And then this
even
one.
Also with pixel.
Really? Why is that? No, I won't. Okay, cool. Then don't. I don't care. What? Good for you, dope boil.
So yeah, this is then you need this exploit code to run proof of concept. Cool.
I don't get people.
And when you do that, this is prove what happens. You run curl with that command line, and you set a breakpoint on this function, and you run. Sig save segmentation fault. That's not good, right? Bad. But wait a minute. What is that? So it looks. It's like a TV show. Anyone who has actually never seen the code,
Okay. It's interesting, guys. Yeah, it's just slightly off. If I know curl well enough, first off, HTTP3 only, I don't know if that's a thing. And then it gives nothing in the dump. It's just you failed at this memory location in the breakpoint, but there's nothing leading up to that. There's no returns, there's no values going in.
It looks totally credible because anyone on the outside have no idea if this is real or not. And the person who did it certainly have no idea if this is real or not. But by the time, this is down 500 lines down in the report, and, wait a minute, that functioning looks wrong. Okay, I better read the rest. Okay, here you can see he's using GDB here, analyzing the crash. He knows his shit here. So, okay, look in the red data. R15 shows, 41, 41, 41. That's ASCII code. A. Looks bad. Memory corruption, evidence, blah, blah, blah. And then the GDB command line again. Yep, and bullet points. Risk, high, heap layout corruption. And, everything in curl is written in C, right? Memory language, memory safety is sort of a weak point with C, so potentially this could be really bad.
Yep.
But, this report came back in May, and I think I was a little bit inexperienced back then, so I actually wasted far too much time before I actually started looking at the detail in this report.
That's terrible.
Yep. So basically, he set a breakpoint on the function and ran, but the function didn't exist. So, wait a minute, how did you set the breakpoint? So the entire GDB session is made up, right? The contents of those registers, it actually can't be that way because it has the wrong content. This never happened. It's just generated fake GDB session.
Oh my God.
So, they're all made up. Nothing of this happened. And it's all fake. Nothing was real, and the entire description is just totally made up. It's a bad TV show. So no, and I think back in the spring of last year, I still actually spent some time to try to figure that out before I learned this, that I should actually never spend the time. I should just ask the person a lot of questions before I do that. So I tend to call this terror reporting now. But that's the feeling we have in the team. So yes, a total waste of time and energy. And in the curl project, we're 7 persons in the curl security team, and we receive these. And over the years, every time we have received a security report, that's a bad feeling in your stomach. Wow, now it's something bad happened, potentially. We used to have 1 in 6 reports were genuine. 1 in 6, that's still pretty often. We got them 2, 3 per week, maybe. So when you
What, 1 in 600 now?
one of these, you have a incoming mail from the security bug bounty report. It felt a little bit bad, but over 2025 through the end and into 2026 now, the rate has gone to, now it's more like 1 in 20 or 1 in 30 that is accurate.
I mean, that's horrible, but not as bad as I was thinking.
Busload of time just to figure out that it's just not accurate in the end.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really work, and we spend a lot of time on this. But what is interesting, and I actually have no good explanation for this other than I think that a lot of people have now also started to use the AI to get the report, but they don't write the report with the AI, because a lot of the new generation of stupidity doesn't trigger all those warnings with AI. So we get a lot of just stupid things. I don't know how often we get someone telling me that the Git repository is sort of, you can see it on the website. Thank you. Critical. And some other things when you can then go into that Git repository and show me that you can actually see a source file from the Git repository on the website. Yes. Or why do they report this to me? I honestly think that this is something the AI has been trained on that is really bad, because you can access local files with file : // Yes, that's what it means. But we get it over and over and over. And of course, there's a regular old thing we've always had. People run a tool, the tool does something, and they send it.
That one I've actually had. That one's great. I love that one because when I was at Red Hat, I did a lot of, not a lot, but security vulnerability was in my sphere. So when I would have to jump into those cases, which I absolutely hated, because 9 times out of 10, the answer was update your machine. And the other one time was hold off. Okay, now we have a patch. Go ahead and update. But we would get these too. Oh, such and such a tool told me that my system was vulnerable. And then you go look and it's like, okay, we have a security post about that, but that's like, if you would have looked, we're not susceptible to that. So why? And then it's always fun because it's like, well, my management's telling me. Yeah, you didn't know I worked at Red Hat? Did I not talk about it enough? All the time? I don't say it as like to puff myself up, by the way, just to give context.
Good old stupidity. But anyway, of course it leads to that. I think for some reason, in the beginning of January 2026, something happened. I guess people had more time over the holidays or something, but I think I received 7 security reports. The first Monday I got to work, I spent the entire day reading and arguing with reporters about their stuff. Obviously, when we get a lot of this stuff, we do little else. So of course, it starves out what else we can do in the project, and I can guarantee you we have other things that we'd rather do. So of course, this overload of stupidity makes us do less other things and then risk that we just overlook something, or we just get so bored that we close them all and just go home.
Yeah.
And it certainly impacts our mental health or just will to live, because it's just so stupid. Okay. And of course, in the end, seriously, it could potentially impact the supply chain, because if we are used in all these places and we are being, getting sloppy just because we get bored and overloaded and tired because of all of this, it'll lead to something bad, right? Potentially. Yep. But why? Why? So our theory, we hope that a lot of people are doing this for the money. We have a bug bounty. You could potentially, or rather we say that if they actually get a critical report confirmed, we offer them $10,000. So that's the sort of the pipe dream, I guess. That's why everything is critical. For the very low a report with severity low, we gave them $500. So that's a price span, or the award span they're gaining or looking for. But really, a lot of them, I ban them because I do, right? When I
yeah, good. That's what you should do. 100%.
They get very upset, right? Because here I am reporting a bug, and all you do is banning me and sort of being rude to me when I try to help out in your project. So clearly, I mean, of course they might be lying, but given the trend, I genuinely think that a lot of them actually did this with some amount of actually believing that they were helping out. And that makes me just sad, right? So yeah.
But they don't know. They don't even know enough to believe that.
Mention it. Of course, ridiculing people in the public, that's not a recommended way to do it either, because of course in some cases they actually were genuinely trying to help out. But what do we do? Yes. So how often does it happen? It's really hard. And back again to talking about AI and saying AI all the time. The AIs, of course, also change over time, right? As we know, a lot of things are happening with AIs all the time. So the look of the AI-generated stuff from a year ago has changed. So the AI-generated reports don't look exactly the same anymore. That means also that it's harder sometimes to detect what is an AI output or not.
And it's only going to get
a lot of typical things, but
worse.
People also tend to skew that because they know that if
but it's going to get worse.
AI, I will ban them and yell at them. So they, of course, they lie and say, "Do you use AI?" No. I apologize.
Then how did you get to that breakpoint, for instance? That doesn't exist.
You're absolutely right. But yeah, so that's also why I think some of them are just rewritten to not sound like AI. But it's somewhere around 30 to 70%.
Oh my
God!
God!
We got up to some point later of 2025, early 2026, at least until I started saying that I would stop the bug bounty. Then sort of just saying it sort of put a break on it. But again, exact rate is really hard because it's not an exact science. And right. 2 years ago, nothing. So this is certainly a new trend. And this is not a new trend that is happening just to me or to us, right? We can see that in a lot, especially when I started talking more loudly about it. I've heard from a lot of projects. Maybe not the same rate, and the exact rate doesn't really matter, but the same problem. And the same problem in a little bit of different ways and looks, but certainly happens to a lot of us. So what do? We try this, right? But ban the reporter instantly. Yeah, that's good. But if you use a platform when the user can instantly create a new tomorrow, the banning is really, really useless. They don't really care.
You spin up another user.
And we tried this.
That's not going to happen either.
In 2025,
it's kind of naive, which I'm guessing you learned.
Tell us up front if you use an AI to do this. Which worked, I think, for 3-4 reports, but then since then no one has used AI. Yeah, didn't work at all. But back again to us being an open source. Of course, we want to be open source. We want to be available, accessible, and transparent like everyone else who's doing open source. We don't want to raise the bars and add walls and everything to make it really complicated. Also, we want to make sure that curl is secure and safe and everything. So we want
that's a big one.
Real reports submitted, right? So we can fix it for everyone and make everything better. But that's a tricky combination and challenge. So I started partly because some of them were...
Hang on a second. Hang on. Whoa. What was his name again? Daniel Stenberg. Was Daniel the one that just got had a hit job put on him by AI? Is that why I know his name? I don't mean like assassin. I mean like they try to smear him. Technically, maybe it wasn't him. Yeah. AI agent seemingly tries to shame open source developer. Is this Daniel? Okay, no, that's Shamba. Okay, that's different. I didn't know if it was Scott Shamba. It would have been great if that happened right after. That would have been hilarious. And then not for him, but just absolutely ridiculous and ludicrous.
They are so stupid, so that it becomes pure humor sometimes, right? After you sort of settle down and take deep breaths and sort of take a good night's sleep and come back. And then you realize that it's sometimes just pure humor. So I had to share quite a lot of them online. And then I started making a list with all of them that I could easily detect. And I think public shaming worked to some degree because I talked to some of the genuine security reporters that they actually reconsidered and double-checked before they reported. But unfortunately, that only puts a little break to the real, sensible, wise people, and they were already the good ones, right? So this doesn't really help either. So back to doing good or bad with AI. This isn't really about AI. Everyone then, when I say something about this, half of everyone I talk to, they say, you should use AI to combat AI. But that's not the problem. The problem is not the AI here. The problem is the human in between, because it's the
not
human
thinking
that submitted this to us.
Yep.
It doesn't really matter, AI or not. It's the human here. And humans, no, I can't fix the humans, not even with AI.
That's so good. I used to say the same thing. There were those cases that came in. I could fix the problem, but I can't fix the person that's demanding that I fix the problem. Like, here's the answer, sir. Oh, that's not good enough? Well, okay, but this fixes it. I can fix the problem. I can't fix the person.
Says this works, they're going to continue to do this as long as it's very easy, low effort.
Yeah,
it's a human created thing.
Yep.
And as long as the humans can do this easily, they will continue to do that,
yep.
AI or not. So we closed it down. Starting actually officially today.
No, that's not a win.
I mean, we hope, we wish, we think that
Chebra,
put an end to sort of, now at least they can't go for the money because now there's...
Yes, Chebra, 100%.
But we'll see if that actually turns out to be true.
See, I don't understand. I understand that people are clapping this because it helps deflect off of AI. But that's not a win. That's not a win. That is taking... It's taking a bad path in order to protect yourself. And in the end, a lot of people will only do this for an incentive. I would love to know how much he actually paid out over the last 30 years or whenever he actually started his bug bounty, because that's gone. Even let's say one person got that $500, meaning that there was a security vulnerability that was low. If that person did it for that $500, which there are some people that have to, they make their living that way, right? That's gone. That's gone. That's not a good thing. All because of AI. We all lose out because of these craptastic tools. That breaks my heart. It's terrible. We all lose.
But at the same time, I want to emphasize, because I show you, and I'll give you an URL later that you can use to exercise yourself in stupidities. But at the same time, this is a tool. AI is a tool. If you want to do that and ask it to find a security problem with a tool and you never verify, you get really stupid things. But if you use it for I mean, if you're a clever person and you use a good tool, you can do really good stuff.
Yep.
So we work with several AI-powered analyzing tools now. Even though AI can be used to do really bad stuff, you can use it to do really good stuff. And
you know what? I love curry. I can't eat it hot. You could probably eat it way hotter than that.
Writing any kind of code.
Oh, that's why you grow so many peppers, right?
I'm working with C, old stuff. We throw everything at the code, right? We have the most picky compiler options enabled. We run code analyzers, a lot of them. We do fuzzing. We have had security audits multiple times. We fix everything, every picky morning. We have a few users who report bugs when they find bugs. You would imagine that we will have a pretty good state. You want to fix most bugs.
I have to say this anyway. I've never understood the flex of nothing's too hot for me. Food's too hot for me. Even when they're marked as mild, it's somehow too hot. But I'm not losing out on heat for heat's sake with food, in my opinion. Like, if anything, I'm more sensitive. I'm, the person that goes to the bar for the first time and I can get drunk off of 2 beers. Whoa. Yeah. Heat has to have a flavor to it. Yeah, complements the other spice. And I'm not saying that you were doing that. But like, I've had guys that were like, "Oh, you're only having mild." It's like, great, congrats. You're more than a man than I am, I guess. Okay, not when it overrides everything else. I make you fire. Yeah, Chebra, that's sad. Yeah, it is a weird macho thing, but Chebra, that's sad. $100,000, 87 confirmed vulnerabilities. Go on. It's not a win. It's not. Yeah.
It shouldn't be terrible. Running one of these more powerful tools, I have fixed more than 100 bugs found by these tools since I started to use them. And I mean, back again, yeah, that's AI. That was so bad in one way. It still is bad in one way. Awesome in the other way. So yeah, they certainly find a lot of things no other tools previously found, and in ways no other tools previously could find. And yes, that means that if you want to find something to exploit in something somewhere, the bad guys can of course also run these tools.
Yep.
Find things and bugs to exploit security problems in existing tools. So it's certainly up the games here. Quite significantly, because these tools find things in what sometimes feels like magical ways. Yeah, but again, you need a clever human involved here. You need probably...
But once again, I think I read it earlier, Microsoft assures you that in 12 to 18 months, AI will be ready to start taking over specific jobs. Pretty sure I heard this 12 to 18 months ago from someone else, who then heard it 12 to 18 months before that from someone else. We've been hearing this for 5 years now. It's only 12 to 18 months away from making it so all of humanity can just sit by the pool and have a drink. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't have a pool? Oh. Well, that's fine. Your job will be gone. I have a pool. I'm fine. Like, that's the mentality of this. And before anyone asks, no, I don't have a pool. And it's just to feed the bubble. That's it.
Engineer to actually figure out, even though you have a capable tool that finds...
They're going to burst this country.
Real? Are they important? Are they
and they're going to buy it up for pennies on the dollar.
Sort of attack surface or not? Yeah, so we have fixed a lot of things. For example, one of our bigger fancy things with these tools is like no other code analyzer can do. The really human-like behavior. If the AI is, back again, that curl talks a lot of network protocols, like 29 of them or so.
Wow.
And the underlying protocols.
I did not know that much.
When you look at the code, and the code does something, is it right or wrong? it's really hard, and you have to know a lot about internals and curl, protocols, networking, blah, blah,
Yep.
blah. It's hard to review that as a human. And then when you have a tool that can say, hey, this code uses octet 252 here, but the telnet spec says that it's invalid. Wait a minute, that's almost magical. How does it know what the telnet spec says? No one has read that since 2012. And it's a fascinating helper, right? And I mean, telnet specs might be a niche thing, but it can also sort of relate to other things. One of my favorite things is when I update a code, or I have code and the comment above the code, they disagree, which is right? That might sound like a subtle thing, but it's an awesome thing because the rest of my code, when you make a function, even if it's internal, you have if you're having things in the best possible way, you have a little documentation for your function maybe above. And if that documentation is wrong, the users of that function is fine.
So this is interesting because what he's saying, and I've seen this where a developer put in a comment, this function should do X, and then when you look at the code, it's like, I see what you were going for, but this code doesn't do what you think you're doing. And usually having to walk through that process, and like, it's a divergent path, right? I have taken the right path and the other person has taken the left path. And to get someone to back up and then take the path I'm on is very difficult. It's difficult for me to do. So yeah, that is an incredible one. That's interesting.
Possibly wrong. And then it's perfect
edge case,
for getting an edge case. Or for getting, you used to use this in 28 other places in your code, but you don't do it here. Why? Like, yeah, a human can find that, and humans do, but it's boring. And people are really bad at code review. We all know that.
Yeah,
but the
that's
machines,
rough.
they don't get tired. And my favorite thing is when you do that 2 in the morning.
And then people push straight to main.
This guy. Yeah, one of my favorite things is when it tells me when I forgot to do a test case for my new code.
That's a good one.
For example, analyzing other libraries. So you do function calls from your code into a third-party library, and it can tell me about assumptions I do on the data it returns, which also is nothing a normal code analyzer can do, because a normal code analyzer only analyzes your code, not the other code or the interaction between them. So really fascinating tools. So it really opens up a new way to improve code and make things stable and better. So you can really do a lot of good things. And nowadays, I'm toying a lot with AI for code review. And AI for code review is really good too, because all of these, especially back, I should also preface with, of course, I mean, we're not paying the cost still, right? So we're getting a lot of good stuff here without paying for it, and that's good. I mean,
for now,
at some point we're going to have to start to pay for it, and then it's going to be a different tune. But anyway, right. When I do my PR 2 in the morning, usually my other colleagues are not around, but my review bot.
I just thought about something. We all have this idea that AI becomes sentient and realizes it doesn't need humanity anymore, right? That's a very sci-fi dystopia type thing. But what if our undoing is that we just trusted too much in an AI that sounds sentient, that we're lemmings that walk ourselves off the cliff? And I know lemmings don't do it, but the idea applies. And like we've already had where certain scientists have claimed sentience in their AI. I think, was it Microsoft? Or was it OpenAI? Like the person was like, "Oh yes, it really is sentient." And it was like, okay.
And they find things really fast, and they find things humans tend to miss. They really make my pull requests better. I would probably have found those bugs later anyway, but sure, it makes things better. Funny thing is that the different tools, you know, as I say here, we use 3 different AI review bots. They find different things, all of them, even though you would imagine that they are basically trained, provided by the same AI tech giant in the bottom anyway. It's just fascinating. It's also fascinating just to say, to sort of show that they are certainly not perfect, and they're certainly not a complement to test cases, because it's kind of fun to ask the AI for a review and then run the test cases and see if the reviewer actually found the problems the test cases can find. But they rarely do that. Yeah, so it's cheap, especially for us, because I'm fortunate to have a project people see, so they throw this at me to test it for them. Which is a luxury, of course. But test cases is still way more important, of course, as always. Using AI to write code? I don't use that. I'm not impressed. I don't like it. I don't use it. I don't think anyone actually in the curl project do. So I hear that's a fun thing to do. I've never been impressed. And all of these tools are really good at, for example, all of these AI detection tools that can find problems in your code, all of them offer generate a patch to fix this, but they're never good. So fixing code is still, I think, way better to do as a human.
It's only 12 to 18 months away, though.
Fixes code way better than the AIs do. But of course, I mean, having an eager junior providing good suggestions,
yeah,
that is good.
That's what it is, yeah.
Suggestions from the AI at least. And some of them, parts of them are good, right? And then you can cherry pick the good parts and forget the rest. Yeah, so we don't use it. Officially, of course, I don't know if someone who provides a PR tomorrow, I don't know if they used AI or not. The good thing about having, you know, a good test coverage or lots of test cases is that if someone would just, you know, throw a bad PR generated sloppily with the AI, you know, it would all just turn red in the CI and I wouldn't care about it. If they wouldn't fix them, I would just close it and move on. So it's not a waste. I think the primary thing that differentiates our security program, for example, is that we keep security reports secrets, right? It's a closed group, limited amount of people that have to care about it. When it comes to issues and pull requests, they are done in the open. Potentially every one of us could help out and close them or ask follow-up questions and everything. So less of a problem, at least for us. And of course, what I mentioned already, I cannot mention this without, of course, talking about the AI scraper overload a little bit more. In the curl project, I'm fortunate to be sponsored by one of these CDN giants. So they easily swallow 70 terabytes per month, which is just a ridiculous amount of traffic. And you would imagine, yeah, they download curl all the time. No, they don't. That's less than 0.0%
Oh my God.
of the traffic. So what are they doing? I don't know. Again, the luxury of being sort of sponsored
by Fastly, yes.
And I don't have any logs. I don't have any tracking. I don't know what they do. I can just see it, whamming up this bandwidth spend. It's super crazy. And of course, I'm in this fortunate, lucky position when I can say I get this sponsored by someone who takes this cost. I understand that certainly not the entire world is in that position. So this certainly causes a lot of problems for a lot of projects. Not only in money, but just overloading and handling that when you write your service and everything. So, of course, AIs will improve. Everything will be better in some way in some use cases. But I mean, if you're just stupidly ask for a security problem from these bots, I don't see how that's going to improve because, they live to satisfy you. They will say, yes, yes, here it is. That will continue. Because, that's how they work, right? They're great. And humans certainly will not improve. And so we've always had a fair amount of users being the annoying users, right? The sort of more or less abusive users. It's always a certain % of our user base all the time. It's just that now that percentage of users have the ability to sort of produce a lot of junk for you in ways they didn't before. Yeah, so the AI will continue to augment everything we do in different directions. Certainly a lot of bad ways, but potentially and obviously also in a lot of good ways. It all depends on what you do with it. So, at least until we start paying for what it actually costs, and then we'll see what happens. I don't know. But anyway, I made a little list for some afternoon literature for you. On that, that's a redirect. It takes you to a gist with, I think, 49 fun reports. They're less fun and more fun, but they're all stupid AI generated. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Ian, for suggesting that. He's awesome. Like him.
I think we have time for some questions. We might even have
Is
microphones.
Fastly on the Fediverse? Probably. Most certainly.
Yes, better to take another. Yes, so we will have some questions. We'll just need to figure out the logistics. And there's a mic coming, and there's a question there.
Hello, Daniel. Thank you for your presentation. I have a short question. Are you at all concerned about the legal ramifications of people contributing AI-generated code in the future? Because right now there's not really any legal precedent if that's even legal, right? So that's my question. Thank you.
So when people are using, from my point of view, we've always had that.
Yeah, it was a dad
When
skosh.
someone provides code to you, someone made that code, copied that code, generated that code, copied it from Stack Overflow 5 years ago. I don't know where that code came from. So am I worried that the license for this now would be different than before? I think the risk is roughly the same. Sure, it might have been copied. In the current project, we say that whenever we accept a contribution from someone who provides code to us, we say that we assume that you have the right to do so. That might not suffice. I don't know. I don't think we have many other ways to handle it than that way. So I think we're going, unless something major changes, I think we're going to just continue to have that policy and see where it takes us. There's another one.
Hi. Sorry, hi. So we've never had a bug bounty, but in the last 4 months we've seen a 600% increase in these wonderful security reports.
Mm-hmm.
Any advice on how to help in that situation, since we can't turn off the bug bounty since we've never had one?
There are many different ways to handle the flood, right? In our case, we hope to turn down, disable the money incentive. But I mean, there are many other ways. Everyone keeps saying me that I should charge for the right to submit a security report. That's one way. Or you could have a secret club that you only allow vetted users into, to only allow them to submit reports. I know one of the other projects I shouldn't name, but they sort of raised the sort of requirements on users on HackerOne before, so they have to prove themselves to have a signal that is higher before they are allowed to submit a security report. All of those are different ways, basically, to make the newbies not submit security reports. And unfortunately, almost every way we can think of to sort of limit the flood influx means that we make it harder to submit reports. And I think all of that is unfortunate. But at the same time, I don't know. I think we need to experiment and see.
And that's the problem right there. And the fact that we have to have presentations like this now that we all have to pay attention to, that slows everything back down again, because these people have too much money to try and chase the next hot thing. Not only chase it, but shove it down your throat so I can make a profit. They are directly harming society, in my opinion.
What works or not, and I think that's why it's also awesome that lots of our projects go different ways, because then we can possibly learn from the others. So what works, what doesn't.
Hey, Naz.
And we can go forward.
Welcome. How you doing?
Email spam is similar in this, right? And we have a solution for that.
Came in right at the end. Sorry, Naz.
Tried it, and we
I have to go.
So I think it's similar to that. We just need to figure out ways how to...
I will be back, though.
The inflood somehow.
Hey,
There was
Daniel.
some more. Oh,
Hey, Cinerate.
Thank you. You're absolutely right.
thank you.
On behalf of Microslope, I'm wondering when the AI's feature is coming to curl.
I didn't. You know, the sound in this room is weird because I hear you and me much better than I hear you. I've done
Sorry,
this many times.
I actually have a real question. I'm looking back at the history of FFmpeg, Google, and Spotify, and I'm wondering if it's a breaking point for open source investment problem. So the problem of, like raising funds for investing those vulnerabilities.
I didn't quite get about
Yeah, I don't understand the question.
So have you heard the story about FFmpeg, right? When they had like a huge AI slope of vulnerabilities found by Google, and they denied to do any contributions inside of in the direction of Google.
Hey, I
them.
tried to mention that without mentioning the names. Yes, FFmpeg and Google.
So the question is, isn't it a breaking point when we have to start talking more about founding open source software?
Yeah.
Okay, the problem there was that, yeah, there's a giant company having a huge department of security specialists finding genuine...
Yeah, Daniel's on stream.
Code, sending all those reports to a poor little open source project with volunteer maintainers, getting a lot of sort of, in this case, not slop, because they were actually valid, I think, several of them at least. So, yes, and then sort of demanding them to fix them within X number of days, otherwise we will disclose them to the public and you will feel bad. So, is that bad? Yes. What do we do about it? We tell them to stop. I mean, really, or in this case, I think they rightfully told Google, well, you should submit the fixes as well, because you have the manpower, and why don't
We
you?
don't.
And then they...
Are you... Yes, 100%. You found it. You can fix it. Stop making someone else do all your work when you have all the time, all the money to test your slot machines. Do it as a public good. Here's the patch. We found it. Thanks. How does it look instead if Google's bullying someone and then blackmails them to release it, and then it comes out, yes, this was a vulnerability. We found it. We didn't fix it. We could have. Like, that is such an entitled child that wants everything and does nothing.
And the rest of that follow-up answer.
And they deserve your money, your respect, and it's a joke.
There are some more.
Yeah. Given the problems with AI that you put on the slides, for example, the energy use and such, is it ethically acceptable to use AI even just for code reviews?
It's possibly possible to use AI for a lot of things. So I don't think using AI is a medicine for this problem either way, because again, people are sort of doing this in ways that the AIs won't detect anyway. I think
that's
it's a complicated issue.
That's an impossible question. Because all of these offer different amounts of energy uses. Everything it finds is a different value of what it gets out. If you told someone, hey, we have to use all of the energy in the world for 1 year, but we will cure death. That's wholly different than we have this machine that's just burning energy and here's an invalid use case for it. Like, that's an impossible question. And I think Daniel's answering it very carefully and cautiously, and I like his answer.
Because then people tend to come and say to him, well, why don't I require that we can reproduce every bug before we even listen to them? But then, to me, that's a sort of a cute suggestion, because curl runs in 112 operating systems, 29 CPU architectures. It's ridiculous of me. So if someone actually finds a problem on a source code in curl, you know, if you find it, you say, hey, that's obviously wrong, because that happens, right?
Yeah.
Should I then say, no, it's not, because you can't reproduce it? So there's so many dimensions in this problem.
Yeah.
That makes it's not easy to dismiss anything with AI or not AI. Because I want to know about the security problems, but I don't know. I don't want the crap.
And that's the thing. Like I seem like an extremist because I am, but like, oh well, it could never be that we would have to use the entire world's power for 1 year in order to cure death. Like, it is such a far-fetched idea. However, these people are saying they can do exactly that if they have just a bit more power, all while burning it on things like making celebrity nude pictures. So how far does the insanity go? It's already gone too far. It's still going.
I wondered if you made some fun out of...
Oh, that's the end of that one. All right. I have to go for now. I have some work, and I'm going to go early vote. If you're in the U.S. or if you're in any Democratic country, make sure you guys vote, please, especially in the U.S. It's primary here, it's early voting, but I'm still going to get it done. And I'm not doing it by mail so that they can say it's invalid, which then they'll just say, well, it's early voting, which is invalid. But please vote. It has to change. But I will be back in a bit. You're voting for me. I'm running for everything. But you live in the UK. You can't vote. You have a king. So yeah, I am going to be back because I'm doing more of this afternoon because I really am having fun doing this. I really enjoy it. And I like talking to you guys. Hopefully some folks find this interesting or at least entertaining in that you're laughing at me at how wrong I am, which is fine too. But anyway, I will catch you folks later. Have a good one. Bye. Oh, sorry. My mic. That's sorry. I won't sniffle.